Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Dr. Markan Saikya's talk on foreign affairs. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is Belt and Road Initiative BRI of China. It is also known as One Belt, One Road Initiative of China. We all know very well this project, launched by current Chinese President Xi Jinping, has changed the whole geopolitics of Asia and even the world. Let's have a look at the whole project. What is the origin of the entire project? One Belt, One Road, OBOR, or Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, or sometimes it is also called as the New Silk Road, NSR, is a massive infrastructure project launched by the current Chinese president Xi Jinping in the year 2013. It has completed a decade this year, this month, since its inception in 2013. Today, it is popularly known as the Belt and Road Initiative all over the world. It is a grand initiative to develop two new trade routes to connect China to the whole world. But it is much more than trade and business. That is what the international experts say. The idea of the project was first proposed by President Xi on his visit to Kazakhstan and Indonesia in September 2013. Clearly, it's a long-term strategy to build an expanded and globally interconnected market for China, simply to redouble China's economic and political power, and finally to unfold a safe road for China to empower its techno-economic strength. Now, we need to look back at what is ancient Silk Road. It was developed by China's powerful Han Dynasty that ruled China from 206 BCE to 220 CE. It emerged during the dynasty's westward expansion, which immediately connected today's Central Asian nations like Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. This route also covered modern-day India and Pakistan towards China's south. On record, this route was expanded about 4,000 miles to the European continent. Trade was at its peak on this route under the leadership of first Roman and afterwards Byzantine empires, and during China's Tang dynasty from 618 to 907 CE during the first millennium. During those years, China exported its silk, jade, and spices to the West, and in turn received gold, ivory, glass products, and other precious metals from the rest of the world. However, crusades in Europe and violent Mongol invasions gradually put an end to one of the world's busiest trade route. And this is what Chinese President Xi Jinping wants to revive, adding some more weightage to the route. What are the main objectives of the current BRI? Belt and Road Initiative. First, it is targeted to make a safe maritime route for China's international trade because of its rivalry with the US. The main sea trade communication lines of China passes through the Malacca Strait, off the coast of Singapore, which is a strong American ally. China also desires to make the participating countries to be interdependent on China so as to bolster its economic and political interest in the entire region. It can be compared with the historic Marshall Plan initiated after the Second World War. But only difference is that under this plan, Beijing provides funds to other countries mainly on the basis of shared economic interest. Secondly, China learned a hard lesson after the 2008 financial crisis in Asia. Though it handled the crisis initially very well, but later its market suffered to a great extent. Thus, it wants to create an alternative market for the country's vast state-owned enterprises outside China. Thirdly and finally, the BRI is also aimed at improving the economic conditions of the provinces of central China. This part of China is also known as South Central China, which includes provinces like Henan, Hubei, and Hunan. Sometimes Jiangxi province is also included in this particular region. Since these provinces are lagging behind in comparison to other provinces, so President Xi's administration is specially focusing on them to stimulate their economic growth in the coming years. Now, another very interesting question is that why this project is called Belt and Road Initiative. Let's have a look. Initially, the plan has two projects, the Overland Silk Road Economic Belt and the Maritime Silk Road. Both the projects were together called as One Belt and One Road Initiative in the beginning, but later it came to be known as Belt and Road Initiative. In fact, before President Xi took over as the paramount leader of China, a research paper titled Marching West was published by Wang Zixi, founding president of the Institute of International and Strategic Studies at Peking University, China. Wang, in this particular paper, argued that China should pay less attention to its eastern powers like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, etc. Rather, China should focus on its western neighbors, that is, Central Asia and the Middle East. So, when Xi took over from Hu Jintao at the end of 2012, probably he followed the same approach what Wang advocated and made extensive plan to rediscover the 2000-year-old Silk Route through which China traded with Europe across the steppes of resource-rich and beautiful Central Asia. Xi has been ambitious and aggressive since the beginning of its reign, and many called him as a reincarnation of Chairman Mao Zedong, who founded and ruled People's Republic of China from the year 1949 till his death in 1976. Now, what is belt and what is road? The Silk Road Economic Belt means planning for a new set of overland ancient trade routes. These routes will connect Europe and Asia, and these will be largely constructed by Chinese expertise. The Central Asian countries are focused as the heart of the Belt aspect in 2013. The road is defined by President Xi in 2014 as additionally proposed new maritime infrastructure along the route discovered by Marco Polo, an Italian explorer. This maritime Silk Road will connect China, Southeast Asia, Africa, and Europe. It will be a longer route which will not touch Malacca Strait. This will cover Southeast Asia and enter into the Indian Ocean. And for this, China is projecting and including Pakistan as a critical point through its China-Pakistan Economic Corridor that is known as CPEC. Now, what America's counter to BRI is happening? I mean, how America is countering this grand initiative of China. Since the Obama administration launched the Pivot to Asia strategy, Washington has been spending billions of dollars to engage nations in Asia. In fact, it is a strategy to engage with more countries in Asia, particularly in Southeast Asia, to compete and contain China's growing aggression and expansion. President Donald Trump passed the BUILD Act to contain China in the same direction. In 2021, President Joe Biden, with the G7 nations, introduced Build Back Better World Initiative, that is known as B3W, an infrastructure mega plan to counter the BRI. But after 1 year, it was renamed as Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment. In September 2023, I mean this year, the European Union and America together announced an ambitious plan to build an economic corridor linking Europe with Middle East and India via rail and sea. This project, known as Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment, could increase trade between India and Europe by 40% and help normalize relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel. Now, this is what America has been doing. What other countries are doing to counter BRI? First of all, India has distanced itself from the BRI and said that it is China's long strategy to dominate Asia. It is China's famous string of pearls strategy through which it has been offering debts to or loans to India's neighbors so as to encircle it from all key points. Japan has already committed more than $300 billion for building infrastructure projects throughout Asia. In 2017, India and Japan together announced an Asia-Africa Growth Corridor project to develop and connect ports from Myanmar to East Africa. More than two-thirds of European nations have already become a part of the BRI. So, the European Union is finding it truly difficult to counter China directly with one voice. However, French President Macron in 2018 stated that the BRI could turn participating nations as vassal states. In 2021, the European Union announced its Global Gateway Project, a $300 billion infrastructure project to counter the BRI. Russia is a partner in the BRI, but in the long run, it feels that the Chinese mega project, that is BRI, can derail its Eurasian Economic Union. However, Russia's closeness to China will grow in the coming years because of its current war with Ukraine and the US-led opposition to Putin regime in Moscow. So, what we have seen is that as BRI is growing, its counter projects are also growing. But this year, this month, China is celebrating a decade of BRI. President Xi Jinping, while celebrating the 10 years of BRI, announced new plans to take the initiative to another golden decade to attain modernization of all nations and to build an open and inclusive world. In fact, that is what China has been arguing for a long time. For improving connectivity to an open economy, President Xi Jinping unveiled 8 major steps to bring the Belt and Road Cooperation to a new stage of higher quality and higher level of development. He also highlighted that global modernization should be pursued to enhance peaceful development and mutually beneficial cooperation and bring prosperity to all. Till date, more than 150 countries, 30 international institutions have joined the BRI cooperation agreements. It must be noted here that the BRI is currently extending from Eurasian continent to distant Africa and Latin American nations. He committed to speed up high quality development of China-Europe Railway Express. Also, China would be building new logistics corridor across the Eurasian continent supported by rail and road transportation. China will be entering into more free trade agreements and investment treaties with more nations. It would remove all restrictions on foreign investment in the manufacturing sector. President Xi Jinping also placed more commitment into green development, scientific and technological innovation, people-to-people exchanges, integrity-based belt and road cooperation, and institution building for global belt and road cooperation. That is what President Xi Jinping has promised and spoken in front of the leaders of all the participating nations while celebrating 10 years of Belt and Road Initiative. So friends, we need to watch out how this project is going to be developed or going to be expanded in the years to come. So thank you for watching me. Please share and subscribe this video and my other videos. I will be bringing lots of interesting topics to you people. Kindly watch my other 2 channels as well, Dr. Makhan Saikia's talk on national affairs and Political Science by Dr. Makhan. Thank you and bye-bye.